Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning. Well, oh, you know what? I should have opened up this. There and there. Put you down there. Oh, yes, and we're missing the Discord. Cool. Good morning. Perfect. Okay, so... Cool. All right, so let's look at the charts that we got here. So, not a ton of movement. We actually did end up moving down yesterday, although it was super slow. Probably better in the end, but yeah, there was a lot of volume there. And now overnight, not a lot of movement. Same in the E-mini, although we're a little bit up. E-mini is on a good run. I mean, they sure look like they're going to go for those yearly highs. Well, not yearly highs, but like all-time highs. But I don't really see a reason to yet. Anyways, so we don't have any news today. We come back over here. So I'm just looking at the Forex Factory here. Not really any significant news today. Oh, I need to refresh that so that the thing comes out. So we do have Jolt's job openings at 8 o'clock. And we have some FOMC members speaking later in the afternoon. Economic optimism number is a tentative thing. So yeah, it might be really slow for Tuesday. But we gotta be careful because sometimes when there's a no news Tuesday, every once in a while, they decide to do crazy things. So I guess we should keep that in mind. What's Donald Trump tweeting here? Congressman Jerry Needler fought me for years on a very large development I built on the west side of Manhattan. He wanted a Yale rail yard built underneath the development, or even better, to stop the job. He didn't get either, and the development became very successful nevertheless. That's interesting that he said, I don't know who this person is. People, and he's retweeting about how the economy is on fire. I'm not so sure that the economy is that great right now, but okay. And Bitcoin had a little bit of a move up in the overnight and has come back down. And I'm noticing this is a pattern. They will sell it at the start, or they'll buy it up at the beginning of the Asian session, and then by the end of that, they've calmed back down. And the impulses are starting to become weaker and weaker. So I would be careful. Bum. All right, well, how are you guys doing over here? Oops, I guess I need to refresh that. Oh, there I see Uzi. Good morning. How come I don't see it in the restream chat? Well, I don't know what's going on. So, a couple of comments on my political video this week. Mayor Pete is the real deal. He won't be disappearing from the conversation, so get used to hearing from and about him. Well, it does sound like he's going to be in the debate, and he's popular enough that I think that we will probably continue to hear about him, but I am still of the opinion that he is probably the right now he's the flavor of the week. So I don't have too much confidence that, a month from now that he will still be getting as much attention as he is right now. But the thing in the primaries that I think is going to matter a lot is who really stands out once the debates get going. And I don't know enough about him to know if he's going to do well in that format or not. Well, the E-mini appears to have had a pretty good move there. Just as of recent. Just since we've been on. And here's another comment. The establishment candidates and their camps are fighting a lot more fiercely than the progressive candidates. The candidates who are sincerely dedicated to progressive policies are united around policy that is popular to real people across the political spectrum, like Medicare for all. What are the establishment candidates united around? The insurance companies, the candidates who are accustomed to selling out corporations and out against each other? Oh, I don't know about that. Well, this guy keeps going. I'm going to read the whole thing for you guys. The candidates who sold out the people can't attack each other. They can't attack anyone who has an unshakable commitment to the populist left agenda. If Bernie attacked Tulsi or Warren, Bernie would instantly lose credibility immediately because it would be a departure from the priority of advancing the most progressive policies above all else. In other words, not me, us, Bernie, and self-service above Tulsi. These are the candidates who are the most accustomed to having to fight back hard against the corporate news establishment narrative they are being used to attack for opposing the status quo. They know who their real political enemies are and whose voices they need on their side. Joe Biden is the status quo. That's why he doesn't know how to respond to being attacked in the news, because they've done is puff pieces on him for the last 8 years, but especially now with the establishment divided and uncertain about which candidate could actually beat Bernie Sanders, and the different camps of the establishment will attack their own to push their favorites to the top. Well, there's some truth in there to that. Joe Biden has definitely gotten kid gloves for the last 8 years since he's been Obama's vice president. He had 2 failed presidential campaigns that were really, they were really failed, right? And he does appear to be clueless about how to handle the current news cycle, because he hasn't had to do that recently. But I don't agree with the whole, the progressives won't attack each other. If you want to win, you will attack each other. Bernie probably won't. I mean, Bernie's always been doesn't want to attack other progressives. But Kamala Harris has been. And she will. 100%. You know why? Because she wants to win. And negative advertising works. Studies show that negative campaigning works, generally speaking. Well, there's enough liquidity for us to trade it. It's just, we had a little bit of trend up. They didn't pierce the high yet. They bounced off of it, but we are seeing a decent amount of volume at 16.5. So the probability is typically that we do break the overnight high or the overnight low. And then absorbing there at 16.5, which is the open, think it will. It's teasing eyes, yeah. Good morning, Lucas. I'm wondering, so we got 4 people right now. I'd say that's pretty typical for this early, but I'm wondering if, doing it with the automatic poster and everything is working as well. I don't know. You don't get, it doesn't give you the little box link that shows you the video when you do it that way. So maybe that's why you're not getting as many clicks, but we still had the same numbers by the end of the day, so maybe it doesn't really matter. Maybe I'm making something out of nothing. Hmm. Hmm. They're kind of making me wonder if I'm actually going to get filled on this. A couple of tweets comes through there. Italy government plans 15%, 20% personal income tax brackets. Italy now dictating terms to Brussels. Boeing price target cut at Goldman Sachs. Yeah, my restream is not working. Okay, so we took up without the fill. Without the fill. Put that down there. Oh, you know what? This is not the right screen anyways. Where's live? Oh, maybe it's in a different place now. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so there they just broke a new high. Okay. There we go. They seem to be pushing it there at 17.5, but I'm worried that that's the sort of a thing that just comes back on you. Yeah. So they sold quite a bit there to push it back down. That's interesting. There, that's a little bit better. Canadian crypto exchange Quadriga CX officially declared bankrupt. Tisk, tisk, tisk. And the E-mini is selling. Why is they selling? Why are you selling? Bank of America is raising its minimum wage for employees to $20 an hour. Well, that's good, I guess. I mean, it should be if you're doing banking, probably, but I think $20 an hour is fair. I don't really see any reason for them to be moving down necessarily, but there's a thing on CNBC about Discord. That's cool. That's cool. ES might just be mean reversion there. Retesting some of that point of control area from yesterday. Okay, so the aggressive push up didn't hold it yet. Pushed up again. Donald Trump finished that tweet. I got along very well with Jerry during the zoning and building process. Then I changed course slightly, became president, and now I am dealing with Congressman Naylor again. Some things never end, but hopefully it will all go well for everyone. Only time will tell. That's interesting that he's tweeting about that. Oh, wait, what? Mayor Pete Buttigieg's not so secret weapon is his husband, Jason. His husband's name is Jason. But it's spelled like CHAS, like Chasen. That, man. I'm going to go out on a limb there and say that his parents probably aren't too happy with his life choices. Name your kid that. I guess too many of their clients were winning. Oh, I'm thinking they're probably just talking about, tellers at the bank, right? Those people, requires a little bit of training and knowledge to do that job. They should be get paid more than 15, I think. Well, I don't think that they're going to come back for me there at 16.5. They did push up again, but it still appears kind of questionable to me. Which is to say, I'm not... Oh, talking about the bankrupt crypto exchange. Oh, right, I guess... yeah. So here's the thing that I find really interesting about the crypto markets lately. Is... everybody's coming in and giving their opinion on why did we have this big move up. One of the things that I've heard is that there was a lot of shorts and that it was a short covering rally. I've seen that used in explanations for like, this is why this is a fourth or a fifth wave move and we should reverse from here and go up and that sort of a thing. And it's like, how do you know that? Do you have some giant indicator that tells you the cumulative delta for all exchanges everywhere worldwide to tell you whether it was short covering or not? I guess we could go and look at, what is it called? Datamish.com. Let's look. And we can come out pretty far. I think last 30 days, I think. So when did the big up happen? Was it April 1st? Okay. So Datamish. Oops, I don't want it to be huge. Okay. So there's the first. Bunch of longs come in. 4/1. Okay. It looks like a short got liquidated, but then shorts immediately picked back up. And then only recently have they given up. Interesting. So that to me, and what time did that happen at? 2:20. 20. Aha. Look. Okay. 17, 18, 23. Why does this skip like that? Maybe we need to make this wider. Okay, there's 20 over there. So what is that? It wasn't short covering. Somebody bought it first. They're wrong. At least according to I forget, Bitfinex. At least according to Bitfinex. A friend of mine thinks he learned a lot about trading Bitcoin and holding it until it reached 20K. Of course, he didn't sell and held the entire move down. Yeah, I was talking to my chiropractor, and he said he had a ton of money, and it was moving up on the upturn. And if he had kept it, he said that he would have had about $1 million. But he sold it and bought a ring. and his what he took from that was, oh, you're just supposed to hodl. So then, as things moved down, he bought again, and he's held it down and has experienced like an 80% loss or something like that. I'm wrong. So they keep taking out some pretty big offers there. That they just bought 5K there? See, when they reach for it, it still gets smacked back down. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I mean, this is the thing, is like in cryptocurrency. Man, the amount that you can make or lose, I just don't see how you can sit there and say, just buy it and hold it. Okay, yeah, if you got a really good price. Statistically speaking, though, you don't. And I'm pretty sure, statistically speaking, that most people don't make money from it, right? I think something like 80% of people lose money in a move like that. I don't know why my restream is not working this morning at all. USD JPY spills lower alongside stock market futures. I see it moving up. Moving up through this whole move, but now reverting a little bit, possibly. At least I see enough of a wick that it's possible that could be over. Yeah, FX brokers are required to publish their client win-loss percentages, and it's hilarious. Yeah, because that thing kind of bothers me, though. That kind of bothers me because, in my opinion, Forex is not a very good deal. Because you're basically trading against your broker. Like, that's never going to be a winning proposition for starters. And you can't see the volume or anything. So you're trading based off of purely price action for the most part. And maybe there's some sort of statistical edge that you can get in there from that, but probably not. If the stop loss is a market order, why the broker don't take commissions on that when they close the order for buying back or selling back the share? Anyways, So it bothers me just because whenever people do an analysis about how well are traders out there really doing, they always look at the Forex numbers, right? And what we're doing in futures is very, very different, right? There's enough room in futures that is, as long as you are trading small, there's a little bit of room for everybody to make a little bit of money, at least on the retail side, because those big institutions are just so effing large, you know? Forex is a little bit different because you're trading against the broker. If you were trading directly against the banks, it would be a different thing, right? Anyways. Well, I mean, I see some signs that maybe it's going to turn around, but look, they're still absorbing. And somebody bought it up as soon as it gave even a small indication that it was going to do that. That's interesting. The mainstream media has never been more inaccurate or corrupt than it is today. It only seems to get worse. So much fake news, says Donald Trump, tweeted 21 seconds ago. So they just bought through a 7K iceberg and made 18.5 go bid. I'm not sure I can touch that. Well, I'll tell you what, Forex is about to die. Honestly, why would you trade Forex if you can trade micro E-mini futures? Honestly, the E-mini is what everybody wants to trade, right? Anybody that wants to day trade, you go through and you're looking at things, the index is like the first thing that comes up to you and says, you know what? I don't know. I can do individual companies or trying to scan and find good winners and everything, but I do have a fairly good idea for what the index is going to do today. I guarantee you that there's going to be so many people are going to come in to futures because of micro E-minis. It's going to be huge. And then they're all going to spread out because they're going to go, oh, hey, treasuries are actually easier to trade. Maybe I should just trade those. I think that'll happen at least. And think of how many people out there that are trading SPY ETFs, that are trading really small options. Okay, so they ticked up and 3K is on the bid. FX should die off. No data. Trading against brokers. The entire structure of that business is total shit. Yep. And the thing is that once all of those novice day traders see the information that we have available to us in the futures market, that they're going to be like, well, what the hell was I doing before? They're totally going to do it. And the CME is going to benefit so much from it. And I'm hoping that, because the CME does so well from it, that they, that we get benefits from it. I'm hoping. Okay. So that 4K there, just 2K just pulled off of it after they hit the 19. I'm a little bit suspicious of that one. We, of course, missed our initial entry by just a little, although I had no clue it was going to move up like that. In fact, I was actually looking at it and being like, well, maybe if I had bought it, maybe I'd be taking it off here or here because I'm not sure. And then, man, the JPY really took off. Okay, so on my 5-minute bars, I am getting a red bar. Well, an orange. They're orange on my charts. I am getting an orange bar on the JPY. So that wave might be over. They did get through the 18.5, but it was 4K. Maybe we could sell it. It's certainly a candidate. FX traders are a brainwashed bunch, though. When I first got a grasp on order flow and shit, I posted some screenshots of the euro futures in a euro USD thread on Forex Factory, and these people laugh at us. They're trading in the blind. Is more preferable to transaction data, and it blows my mind. I see. To them, yeah, I think he made a little typing mistake there, but he's saying that to them, trading in the blind is more preferable to the transaction data. Well, I could see if you were posting the Euro USD, because there's not really a very good correlation to the order flow and the price action in those particular futures, you know. Even in the E-mini, almost always has some sort of crazy divergence going on. Have you noticed that? There's always some sort of crazy divergence going on in the E-mini. Okay. I don't think that one's going to get filled. I'm just going to... just to be safe if something crazy happens. There's always some sort of strange divergence going on in the E-mini. But once you start looking at order flow on the more commodity-based ones, so like all of the metals, oil, and treasuries, the 10-year in particular, and then you start looking at order flow, then it's like, how did I trade without this? You don't need the correlation, but you can certainly determine in a move from 60 to euro USD. I used to do all the time. Okay, cool. I've always been confused because I always have my cumulative delta on. So like just for example, right now, where is it? Charts. Okay, right now, you can see I have my a cumulative delta here on my JPY chart. And you can see there was like massive movement in price, but on the futures, they didn't really move it. I very often see complete opposite moves. Yeah, not right now, but I have in the past seen things where you had a big move up and the futures sell it the whole way because they're hedging or something like that. Like, I don't know what the deal is, but there can be inverse correlations and stuff. So I think you would need to know more about, you know, you'd need to know more about that particular market to really know where to take it. It would be a different reading of order flow than what we do in treasuries, that's for sure. But you can certainly get a general sense of directions. Yeah, that's... Now, the interesting thing is that in the JPY, the futures pretty much sold that whole move just now. So, well, they did hit into 17.5, but they weren't able to make it go offer, and now they are giving them a chance to make it go bid at 18 again. One of my dogs is daydreaming very loudly right now. Not daydreaming, but just dreaming. You ever seen, I love those videos where like you got a dog and they're like running in their sleep or something like that, and then they wake up and they realize that it's just a dream. That's good stuff. Oops. Our restream's not working at all today. The restream chat. It's not picking up Discord. It's not sending me anything. Putin, if prices slump below $40 a barrel, U.S. shell output is at risk. Is that the price that it's at? He's awfully specific. Well, where is it right now? 64. And it's been moving up lately. So why would he say that? That's what he's doing. His paws are going and he's soft barking. Yeah, my the Yorkie. Well, I have two, but the girl, and she's kind of more of like a teddy bear. Like she's her hair's not smooth. It's fluffy. And it seems like whenever she sleeps, she's not having a good time. She always appears to be scared in her dreams. And then I'll wake her up and she'll realize it was just a dream and then go back to sleep. It's weird. And it's kind of funny because you can see the dog thinking about it and realizing like, oh, they know what was going on because they have dreams too. Well, that short's not working out so hot. That 18.5 is going off, or is getting weak awfully suspiciously easily. They're not buying it though. That's interesting. So maybe I will not freak out yet. The E-mini did take a little dive there, pushing lows, pushing overnight session lows, but not yesterday. So low could still be like 28.87. Also, the E-mini could go a little bit more. Okay, so at 17.5, there's some stacking going on now. And they're still having a hard time getting them to bite at 18.5. That's interesting. And then I don't like the 17.5 stacking up there. It should have gone when we took that short initially, and if it's not just gonna go, then I don't want to mess with it. Plus, there's plenty of prices up above us that we could test. 19 is just yesterday's point of control, actually. If that's yesterday's point of control, then this pause looks like a pullback. Not sure, though. There's enough fuel for taking highs, especially now. So I guess I need to like adjust this so that I can catch everything still and not. There we go. opinion among Europe ministers that today GAC and Lux gravitated towards a long extension until December 31st, according to multiple diplomatic sources. Not a single country explicitly opposed this, not even France. Some support for May's date of June 30th, but only from a minority. That's going to be funny if they give them an extension after them saying that they weren't going to. You know what I mean? This weird technical formation below 22 ZN could trap lots of people if broken, will be defended, in my opinion. And 20 is like a step in the profile from yesterday. Okay, well, I was right to get out. Ticked it up, and they're going to take new highs. Yeah. In fact, I think I could buy that. They're still actually kind of fighting the trend. That's kind of interesting. And as oil, I see oil is starting to move a little bit. JPY went up for another push. I guess not. Yeah, the problem I've had is just finding a spot that is okay to take it at, though. I guess I could have done 17.5. I didn't really see that one. See, I don't want to buy... I was willing to buy 19, maybe even 19.5, with the idea that we would get through this, that we could take it off at this step in the profile at 20. Now, not so sure. Bum, bum, bum. Okay. See, at the moment, they're kind of saying that they're not going to let it. Oh man, there's some big targets above us too at 24. Those have been there for a while, though. What about in ZB? Is there anything above it, weird above us in ZB? Not really. Huh. Well, see, now they're giving a level break signal. I think I take that one. IMF cuts 2019 global forecast to lowest since financial crisis. Well, they definitely know that 20 is a level. There's a little bit more going into 19 than you would maybe typically see here. All of that sold at 19 was small orders. Alligator says R1 as well at 20. Germany, Poland, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, Italy, Belgium, Sweden, and Hungary all expressed support for giving the UK more time. France, Greece, Slovenia, and Austria were the most cautious on the risks of a long delay and potential credibility hit amongst European voters. Well, I think that that's a legitimate concern because you guys said that you weren't going to give them an extension, and you talking about it now. You see, I think that what has just happened here is they were playing a game of chicken, and the European Union kind of blinked harder than the UK blinked. I think they both blinked, but I think the UK, right? Because now the European Union is the one that's going back on like a hard line, essentially. So now, why should the Brits take anything they take seriously? If they say, oh, well, we're not going to renegotiate, first you get the extension, now it's going to be, well, we're not going to renegotiate the border, the hard stop. Yes, you will. You will, because if you don't, there's going to be a global recession. I could be wrong. I could be so very, very, very wrong. And I've been saying this from the beginning, and then, kind of didn't happen. And then I thought, well, maybe that scenario is not actually going to happen. But now they're going back to it, and I'm thinking, oh, you know what? I think I was right. $71 in Q. This one can be a little dangerous because it can break down really quickly. But then if they do decide to punch it, it'll be like all of a sudden you get caught flat-footed. That's why it's better to be long from somewhere like 16.5. And then that way, if you see something happen, you could take it off at like 18.5 and still be happy with it. Okay. Spencer's going short the E-mini here, huh? Well, it does look like they could still have some more room. IMF sees Turkey contracting 2.5% in 2019. Okay, so the JPY is seeing quite a bit more of a red bar this time. In fact, it's giving me dojis that can mean a reversal. And gotta be careful about it. Okay. So you're getting the 5 year pushing here and causing the 10 year to do weird stuff with the level 2. You see that? But it's not actually causing very many people to sell still. I suspect that a lot of that size on 19 half 2 would disappear if they have any kind of an uptick. Yeah, wow, look at that. So they ticked down, they kicked it back up, immediately some went off at 19 half. Okay, but the 5 year didn't hold that 715 and 3/4. It should be an easy one to take out, and they're not. When the moon is in the 7th hour and Jupiter aligns with Mars, then it is time to buy. Ace is also looking for a short in that same area. Oh, look at that. Now I see it too. And look, the E-mini is flipped around again. And look at all that size stacking at 20. Boom. Okay, there you go. I should move these over to here. And make them like a lot smaller. I hate the way that this works. Okay, there we go. Cool. Maybe not. I don't know. Okay. So they stepped up like they were going to take the level break again, but they didn't just go for it. They're still thinking about it. But it is definitely giving level break like price action. We'll call it. All right. The 5 years ranging around quite a bit here now. It's starting to form a range that they can go back and forth across easily, and it's causing some volatility in the 10-year. IMF slashes trade, import, and export forecasts across the globe for both 2019 and 2020. A bunch of things coming off of that. I wonder if some of this movement is due to that. It's hard to be sure. You know, given where the 6J is and the bouncing off of the support that it is, there could be a lot more uptrend left in this. Okay. Well, they did finally break through that level and they pushed up quite a bit there. Okay. Uptick. Ace got stopped out. Guess I didn't realize what time it was. Okay. They're going to take it there at 20 now? Five-year is looking like it wants a new high. I wanted to make German pancakes anyways. If downside risks to global economy materialize, coordinated stimulus might be needed, says the IMF. Ooh, that's kind of scary language there, buddy. Coordinated stimulus might be needed. So now are we saying that we need a global Federal Reserve that does coordinated monetary easing for the entire globe to prevent financial catastrophe? I don't think that anybody will go along with that. It kind of sounds to me like that's where that would go. So some sort of unofficial world Federal Reserve at the International Monetary Fund. IMF no longer sees stable China in 2020. Instead, it drops from 6.3% to 6.1%. Stimulus will be short-lived. Okay, so we did get the break. I didn't see a lot of stops, so I think this could continue. And given that the treasuries are pushing up and they appear to have more room, that could mean that the equities are going to go down and take that low. Okay. Okay. See, it's interesting here. They're not really doing anything that I could see as a potential like reversal, but they're not straight up buying it at the high either. Doesn't look finished to me yet though. I'm so mad that I didn't get filled at 16.5 in retrospect. Okay, that's a little bit different. What was that? Okay, the 5-year ticked it down. The other two did not. Well, okay. So there it was right there. Potentially. Okay. Well, they're awfully close to a new low in the E-mini now. I think that's equal. There's some people taking profit at the low of the day. Oh, they stacked again at 20. Wow, they're really stacking at 20. Absorbing the hits though. 6J maybe gonna pop up here again. Yeah. So the high of the day is bid. Nobody takes new high. Who's going to be the brave one lot that trades into 21? Okay, that's a new low right there in the E-mini. Okay, now the 5-year steps up. I think that maybe now they'll trade it. Yeah. Oh my gosh, completely pulled. Oh my gosh. Ugh, okay. So I'm noticing that I put my order in at 22.5, and since I've been long, about 1,000 or now for 600 have stacked on top of me. So it looks to me like they've picked up some longs in this area, and the longs are now putting their targets in this area. Okay, the JPY did just hit another session high. My target in the E-mini is acceptable. In the face of significant financial vulnerabilities associated with large private and public sector debt in several countries, there could be a rapid change in financial conditions owing to, for example, a risk-off episode or a no-deal Brexit, says the IMF. Them talk coming out of the IMF is a little scary, guys. Did you throw a couple guys there, Uzi? Okay. Profit taking at 21. E-mini really going. Five minutes to the open, too. It's still not like an outright panic in the E-mini, although this is pretty heavy selling, and the treasuries are really, really moving here. So I would not count out a real downer of a day. And honestly, to me, it feels like that the stock market has been a little bit too rosy because we're just so close to new all-time highs. And I don't feel like that all of the issues that initially caused us to sell off in December and everything are behind us yet. I mean, if we get a China trade deal, that's great, but there's still going to be some residual weakness left over from all that. William Barr testifies today. Oh, look at that. Okay, so now they've gone through the pivot from yesterday. The next number is yesterday's low at 28.84. So down here. No, I think I might just want the standard target though. Let's see. There was a little bit of a, big breath in. Okay. JPY is still acting like maybe it could go higher. Well, I told myself I wasn't going to do a trade like this where I have to manage two at the same time. Did I move this? I should move this. That 44.57 potential level break. Yeah, see, it looked bad because it ticked down, but because of the trend and everything, that's just a potential level break, especially if you get this big order up here at 24. 2 minutes to the equity open. See, they're absorbing at 22. Now, a level break here is not guaranteed. I'd say we have pretty good trends, so I think it's more likely than not, but it's probably still like maybe 55, 60% chance, Like today is still not like a gangbusters trend day yet. So it is a Tuesday. Oh, they still haven't given me my target. Let's see. It goes bid again very easily. So I would prefer to hold this, well, so we're going to have the open, we're going to have a little bit of volatility on the open, I think. But on a trend like this, I prefer to hold it until I see the crazy, you know? I don't think we've gotten anywhere close to the crazy yet, although this stepping up at 22 certainly looks a little bit like that. Okay, so they are definitely selling it here on the open. Okay, there you go. Look at that. Okay, so there's my first target. Okay. Dang. Okay. I just ended up taking my target. I think I could have gotten that 86, you know? I think it might actually go back there. Okay, now I'm actually coming back over here. Lot stacked at 23. So let's watch. I put that order at 28.85.25 because this step in the level 2. So do they go down and get it? I think that they tend to do so, but that's not something that I've watched enough to really know what the tendencies are. Okay, so there's a big one showing up at 28.85.75. This bid in ZN is still strong. Yeah. And you can see that some of the size that was sitting at 23 has disappeared. Okay, so it looks like maybe potentially would have gotten filled there. Okay. I don't like seeing that 73 there. Sure. Okay, so it does. It does go down there in the E-mini. Now, can you hold it past that? No, I think there's absorption there. You want to take it, right? Oh, it was a good trade. Okay, 23 was going to keep going. Could have held it. When we get 24, that was where our other order was. Lucas, potential short at 22.5. Why are you looking for shorts, dude? Were you really trying to buy it at 21? That would have been awesome, dude. Wow. I know, right? Yeah. It is starting to get a lot of absorption in here. I think anywhere in here. I mean, I took 19 and I think I took it off at 22 half, right? So there was maybe potentially two more in it, but I don't think that I would be tempting fate right now with the 24, right? Because you're getting a lot of profit taking at 23 half. And there's been a lot there at 24 that has been there for a really long time. People are going to take profits. Well, that went down a lot further than I expected. I guess I shouldn't say that. I really didn't have any expectations on how far it was going to go. I saw that one order and saw that as a potential stopping spot. You know. So one of the issues that I have in the E-mini, I seem to have a pretty good knack now in treasuries for how far it's going to go. Could you kind of tell that I saw like, here's a potential profit taking spot, but I kind of have an inkling that it might go further. Now 10K at 23 half, I definitely would take it off. Even though they may, as of yet, bump, they might just blow right through that. And the E-mini is starting to get crazy down here too. So that's another indication. Maybe I would want to take it off. But the E-mini can do crazy and go right through it, right? Treasuries, I haven't seen like a crazy stop out in treasuries yet. Just a 9K order. Well, okay. They were willing to sell 4,000 to make it go offer at 23 half. And anytime that I'm seeing 7,000 being stuck on the DOM, you got to pay attention. It seems like 7,000 in the past, at least, has been a pretty good spot to say, maybe we take it. Forex Live looks like the 8-day winning streak in US stocks is over. No joke. So we should watch this. It was 28, it was 90. So I get $50 for each point. So $50 on micros, assuming you got filled at 28.80. Well, they're still pushing it. I don't know. That to me looks like you take your profits there at 23 half. I could be wrong, but that's what it looks like. Can't ignore that one. There, sure enough. Yeah, down quite a bit. And back to where I would have been. So I'm happy with that. So I I'm tempted to try and just get another one ticker. I'm gonna keep an eye out for it so that so I can have that be over a 300. That would be nice, but um, we gotta be very careful. So the E-mini definitely turned there and caused Treasuries to turn around a little bit. And the E-mini was really ticking fast. So that was an action. I think when I get into work today, I'm going to come back and watch the video and look at what happened there in the E-mini. Because I was seeing something there. It was like it was getting really exciting. And maybe that's something that I need to look for when the E-mini's really trending, you know? There was the bid and the offer were both stacking up there in the E-mini, and then the offer decided to pull and they picked up. And then the bid followed it a little bit. So I was thinking maybe I could get a one ticker here, but the pullback so far has been very, very narrow. John's got a couple of good levels for us here. Let's look. Okay. Prior's day high was 148.07. First target 148.10 and 148.16. Okay, so they just barely brushed 10. Yeah, I'm tempted to take it long again, actually. But I think that I caught such a strong trend. I mean, I still really wish that I had caught that 16.5. How many times have I missed something like that lately? You know what I mean? Sometimes I just need to just hit in. Not on a Tuesday though. I don't know. Light news Tuesday. I probably did the right thing, but The guy at 24 is still alive. Oh, yeah. Way up there. Well, there's guys at 18 and 20. This is actually giving me some indications that it could continue to move up. But it's way too difficult for me to know. That to me, that what happened in the E-mini is a really good stopping point. I don't know. Wow. Yeah. See, they hit a good spot. Yeah. Restream's still not working. Maybe I'm gonna try reloading it one more time. Okay. I mean, it sees the number of people online correctly. Does it seeing it correctly? And so maybe off a little bit. See, there's still a lot trading into 23.5 where that huge 10K iceberg was. I'm surprised that they've actually gotten 5K to buy there. That's a strong trend, and they bust it. Look at that. Well, now it's 8K. We can try that. We'll see. If they break through that 24, there's probably going to be a little bit of chaos, yeah? See, I think that I should actually do this as like 1650. So that was interesting that both the E-mini and the treasuries traded down there. Now the treasury ticked back up and they're holding the 23. I don't know. Lucas feels like he's missed it a couple of times. So, are you trying to take it with a limit order? Because if you're trying to take it with a limit order, in this kind of action, you're going to tend to have some issues with that, right? And they make 23 half go bid. Are you kidding me? And E-mini does appear to be eyeing a new low. Are they going to hit this thing? Yeah, I missed the one at 19 half. Sure. Yeah. See, I think that once we how can we look at this? Really, when we broke the overnight high and then bounced back off of it, well, I guess the overnight high was 20, wasn't it? No, it was 17 half. Yes. So when we broke the overnight high and then bounced off of it again, bought at 17 half, at that point you know that you've got a pretty strong trend going on. Okay, well they never went to hit that at 24. If they had hit it at 24, it might not have been a good thing. The E-mini really came back there though. But at that point, you've got to be saying to yourself, okay, if I see significant absorption on the bid, I might need to click in there. If I'm seeing real pressure, I might need to just take a market order, because what causes this kind of action is everybody chasing it, right? So at that point, yeah, after that, it broke. They never backticked for more than 2 ticks exactly. So at that point, that your chances of getting filled on limit are poor. For sure. Now, today is a little difficult because remember, it is still Tuesday. To have gotten that much trend on a day like today is unusual. Now, that move down that they just had in Treasuries was a little weird too. I'm going to have to say that was a pretty good reversal, but I wouldn't be tempting fate here. They could maybe get back to 20 and then hold 20. I don't know. Like they're stacking 7 and 8Ks at 22 and 22 half. See that at 22. He's going to offer 86 at 22. That's more than it was at the high. I could be a little suspicious of that one. Not worth tempting fate on it, but you've got to be a little suspicious of that one. I've definitely seen these sorts of things where it's done this and then both of those pull. And when we've been seeing the stacks as of late, there was trickery around it, wasn't there? Okay, William Barr is testifying in front of the Senate or House Appropriations Subcommittee now. Rising inequality within the upper classes may explain why support for welfare has barely grown in recent years. I think that the reason that support for welfare has not increased is because people realize that it's not really very effective. Yeah, you kind of got this. I'm noticing this message. So when I'm talking to people, one of the messages that I've been sharing, like especially on Facebook, that seems to be resonating with people very much is, okay, the Democrats want to increase taxes on the rich so that they can give us more welfare type of, entitlement type of benefits. So like health care, and there's all this talk about a basic minimum income and all of these sorts of things, right? And to me, that's like stealing the cake and then offering you crumbs as a concession, right? Like I don't want some handout that I can't be successful on my own, so they took the money from the rich people and gave it to me as a concession because things aren't fair. That's nobody wants that. I don't want that. I want to make the money and have the opportunity to participate in the economy and create value the same way that the people at the very top do. Ooh, wow, that was a big sell. Very big sell. Um, anyways, it's just I think that people really buy that because I think that they realize that if there is a problem with wealth inequality in this country, taxation does not solve it because the fundamental issue is that some people in this economy are not being given the opportunities that they should be. And this doesn't fix that and give them more opportunity or even the playing field. It just gives them a concession like, well, we know that you can't win, but we'll still give you something anyways. It's like a consolation prize. It's retarded. But yeah, why did I get up on that? Oh yeah, because of welfare. So I think that that's why it's happening, and I think that Democrats might have a much tougher sell with their current platform than they think. Because once it gets into the debates and you have a presidential candidate pushing that stuff, there's going to be much more pushback. And some of that polling that shows that people want that sort of a thing is not going to be as strong. Anyways, so I'm just sitting over here in the bar within a week in position to release Mueller report. I did see that come through when I saw that block sell 21, so it's potentially related, but I doubt it. I doubt it. Well, I don't know if I'm going to take any more trades today. I mean, there might be another trend up to try and test that high. I don't know. The 2880 still held. That's interesting. And where did I take my short from? 2890. I took 2890 and I took it off at 2887. Well, I could have held it for much more, but within 1 week. European Commission chief says Trump's penchant for using Twitter to make surprise announcements imperils a trade ceasefire. Huh. Well, I don't know. After all of that, 19.5 is a key level. I don't think I can trade this now. I did well. I should probably just not tempt fate. Now, this is also interesting because tomorrow, I was planning on tomorrow being the good day because of inflation numbers. But having this pretty quite strong move up, I would say. I mean, we beat out the, well, it's not quite a monthly high. You could still potentially see 25 actually. It's actually maybe a bad thing if we were to come all the way back down to balance and miss that 25, that's actually kind of bearish. Oh, some people don't like talking about welfare. You know, I when I was dating, there was this one girl, a redhead, a different redhead, but she was like an economics major, and her and I think that she actually had a master's in it, if I recall correctly, because she had to like write a master's thesis of some sort. And she did hers on welfare, and she did a lot of statistical study and so forth on it. And she was very, very strong about that welfare doesn't work. It was very interesting to listen to. That it's like, sure, it can, you know, it can provide temporary relief in times when things are going tough. So I'm not so sure that we should completely get rid of the safety net. But in terms of it actually getting people out of poverty and so forth, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And when something has been around now for 30, 40 years and it doesn't work, I think that people take notice. So I know that some Democrats don't want to hear that, but that is the data as I understand it. Now the E-mini is kind of threatening like it's going to go down again. I might be able to buy this here. Well, that's a lot at 22. I think that it would be better to put an order there and just wait and see if they do that instead of trying to buy it at 20.5. Well, I guess you could have bought it at 20.5. Actually ticked back down there. E-mini kind of started to threaten the low, but it's already starting to pick up a bit again. Oh, now the restream chat works. Well, there's a pretty strong bids at 19.5, looking like they want to hold it there. You're stuck between some pretty thick level 2 there. And it kind of appears like that neither side is too anxious to attack those edges either. Well, I did tick up there, pretty aggressive bid at 20, in fact. Well, let's post our notes. It's a little early for this, but I'm just not seeing a clear spot. Like, it's bounced off of this 19.5 a couple of times now. But could I have gotten filled at 20.5? It doesn't seem like it. I think I could still do this. Oh, except for that it's... Oh, stop limit here. I think I can put that there. Yes. Okay. And just see. because if they decide to take it out, it might. Yeah, we could get some drama still. I mean, after something like that, it tends to just keep going until the London close, really. And again, they don't want to do it. You get filled at 20.5 now. $8.43. So there was a pretty big iceberg there, 20, and they bounced off of it. That just still kind of leaves us in a very narrow range here. Can they break through 21? The E-mini is just kind of moving sideways. I wouldn't be surprised if this whole thing is just a bear flag or a bull trap or whatever you call it. Oh, maybe it was some shorts coming off here. I need to go rephrase that. Well, we're still stuck here in this spot. It looks pretty dead here. Bum 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 ba-dum. Bots. We'll see if 148 even can hold in ZB. If yes, they could try that move to test 09s again. I don't know. It just looks really dead. I could have gotten filled at 20.5, so I could have taken my one right there. Overall, that now we are seeing a big order showing up down at the low of the day. That's a little interesting and possibly concerning, but I think that, you know, it's close enough to 8:30 now. Posted my notes. See, this right here is kind of weird. If I move it like that, there we go. Notice how that had mostly already moved by when the shorts really started coming off. 23 even. Price had moved up already a lot. $22.20. Price had already moved up. Right there is where it happens. Right. Well, actually, it is right there. 22.20, 22.20, 22.20, 15, 20. I wonder if I can show this. Print screen. No, alt print screen. Then can I stick it in here? Nope. Have to save it. File name. I think I misread that chart before, because here it is, you know, if we just look at like the change over, that's when you see a change in shorts or a change in longs. So that must be like people taking profits. But you see it was happening before that over here in the cells. And here's that point right there. And so it appears that it was short covering. I just didn't have them like close enough to be able to really see the time frames. But now that I've narrowed it down and got a nice clean picture of it, oh, it looks to me like my the Discord chat, the widget isn't working very well today in the video either. And that's funny. All right. We're trading a lot better now, green most days. Well, yeah. I mean, well, let's pull it up. Since we got some time. Since we have some time, let's look things up. So one of the things is that I have had a few tilt days lately, right? So if we just look at the last, let's say since the beginning of March. Sure. Okay. So if we just look at everything since the beginning of March, then it does look like we're doing pretty well. Like we had some really bad days, but now we've had some pretty consistent performance since about mid-March and moving up and pretty good. Wow, 10K at 20? Sure. Okay. Anyways, but this isn't really very accurate because we get those E-mini trades in there and some of the E-mini trades are really bad, right? So if we just only look at treasuries, it's going to be a little bit better, right? So now here you can see, okay, there was a really bad tilt day where I had doubled down on something. So that shouldn't be as high as it should. Then I kind of calmed down, modified when I was trading 2 contracts. Still had a pretty bad set of days there. Yeah. Oh, that's -2. It doesn't tell me like the day by day what it was, but you can see it went down from about 156 to -234. And then we've had some pretty good upside, right? If we just show the E-mini trades, you can see that overall it's pretty bad, although we've done good on our last few. So overall, we'd be down $20, I guess. I'm excited for micro futures, dude. I am super excited. We're just going to trade them. So, do I feel like I've leveled up? Well, I feel like over the past 2 weeks, really, I've been much better at determining when I should trade and when I should not. But I'm still concerned about when we get more into May and then especially in the summer, things change around and it starts to be a little bit different. And we have already seen some of that change, in fact. Oh, it looks like they did decide to break down through the bottom of that. So I don't remember where I had my stop order, but I canceled it. And it's not just going straight through. So I think it was good to just end it where I did. Because there's no way that I knew that it was going to come back so heavy. Anyways, so I think I'm doing better in that respect. But then, you know, if we go a little bit further back, like we go back to December, I think. Okay, so now you can really see my E-mini trades are just so terrible. Okay, ZN. Like we've got a pretty good equity curve going on here. And, you know, I still have the tilt days, but I think that they're getting not quite as bad. So, yeah. Now, I expect to do well during this time period. That's the whole thing. So, I don't know. I feel like I'm getting better. I feel like some of the stats that I've done have been really helpful. But I think I'm going to need to do more stats. Like always got to be pushing for more edge, right? Because the market eventually sniffs those out and takes them out. But, we've been doing pretty good. I wish that at the beginning of the year that I had more in the account so that I could really take advantage of it. But I'm still gonna stick with my plan and not really use the live account until probably September. And even then, I'm gonna be very light. Well, I mean, I will use the live account for the micro futures, but other than that, and I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with that because I let my Jigsaw license expire. And this can be $50 a month, so I'd have to be making more than $50 a month. But that's okay. That's like 3 good trades in ES, and then I would have paid for it, right? So, but we're still not to the place where I have trouble. So I don't want to get like overly excited. The only thing I'm going to say about this is that using our method of trading when markets are trending, you can make money trading order flow. Totally can do it. It's totally a thing. I think some people have a lot of skepticism around order flow. It totally works, but you just got to keep in mind that it's not like, gangbusters rich. I mean, when you look at how many trades we've taken, so how many trades have we taken? By the way, you can see Tuesdays are the worst days for me. That's when I've really tilted. And you can actually even see the time of day. So like when you get past 10 o'clock, my time, those ones are the ones where I'm like, I've been holding it forever and it never turns out. Interesting though that I don't do as well at the beginning, but then later in the day it just gets better and better. So that's good. That means that like I'm warming up and stuff. Where is the stats? Here we go. Total number of trades 398 times 250. So I'm paid like 500 in fees, right? So that's no good. So when you look at all of that, okay, all of that work, 4 or 5 months of trading, you make $1,500 on one contract. Is that really that amazing? I don't think it is. Now it really could be amazing if we got rid of the tilt days. Yeah. Some of those tilt days I keep trading on the account, even though if it was my live account, I don't think that I would, but because the one is 3 in a row, we end. And there's days where there's more than 3 in a row. And there's days where I was sized up when I had those losses and I shouldn't be. So it can be, there's still room to pull stuff out there, but I don't think that changes the larger point, which is like some people come in and they think that they're going to scalp and they're just going to make millions of dollars right away. And I don't think that that's the case. Like you can size up and make a living on it totally, but it's not like a super amazing return all the time. Well, you mean he's still pushing the highs, so that's good. All right. Well, anyways, the family has left. I don't like getting out when the kids are getting ready because I just distract them. So I think that's about it. I will catch you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow is it CPI or PPI? CPI, Consumer Price Index, I think is going to be interesting. One of the more interesting things. Do we get inflation? If we get inflation, their forecast is 0.3. 0.3 and 0.2 for core inflation. That's quite a bit higher than it was last month. If they outperformed at all on the PPI tomorrow, CPI, PPI, it would be like a real disaster for bonds because they're way too high if we actually are getting inflation. All right. Anyways, thank you guys for sticking in. I will catch you guys tomorrow. In the meantime, stay